What is up, you guys? I'm Charmx, and I don't even know what to say. Somehow, MatPat has come up with secret lore about Fortnite. Like, what? Fortnite's a battle royale game. So I don't know if Matt is really stretching just to make a video on Fortnite, or if there actually is some hidden lore in Fortnite. Anyway, today I'm gonna be reacting to Game Theory. Did I find Fortnite's secret lore? Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, I don't know if there is any secret lore in Fortnite. I guess there could be, but you never know. Anyway, I was looking through some of the comments before I started filming, and one of the comments said, "This just ruined Fortnite for me." So hopefully it's gonna be very interesting. Anyway, with that being said, the original link's in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to the Game Theorist. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Hey guys, it's your boy Gummy Rice here today to do another round.
Is this a shot at rice gum? It has to be. Gummy rice gum? It has to be. Matt, do you need drama? Anyway.
Round of Fortnite videos. You know me, I never play video games on this channel, but I did last week, and look at those numbers. Clearly, Fortnite is all you
Oh man, he's throwing shots. He's throwing lots of shots.
guys want. That half chick on the thumbnail probably affected nothing at all. But first, we find ourselves a girl willing to get almost naked on camera, but not fully naked, since you know gotta keep those YouTube dollars flowing in. Flexing on the fans. Hey yo, generic friend, your girlfriend is right there. Even though she's a human being who can think and act on her own, can I treat her like an object by asking you, her obviously male keeper, whether I can borrow her so she can get almost naked in one of my videos?
Hey, I love that sound effect. The sound effect.
Yo! Yes and yes.
Yo!
Alright boys, we got Fortnite fired up. I got Boobs McGee over here. So Boobs, for each kill I'm gonna need you to remove one article of clothing. You okay with that? Doesn't matter. Already cleared it with your boyfriend. Let's do this! Oh, so close.
My goodness, this intro. You have people like the odd ones out. Who take shots here and there at Rice Gum, and then Rice Gum goes crazy over that. And then you have MatPat making like a 1 minute intro, just like blatantly about Rice Gum. I can almost bet anything there's gonna be drama now with MatPat. I don't know why Matt's doing this.
Come on, just one more game. Beginner's luck, it's where? Oh, so close! Come on, that's clearly a hacker. Can I have another game? Can I have another game? I swear I'm gonna do it this time. Oh, what a noob tactic. Alright boys, so that was Strip Fortnite. Make sure you drop a like for more. And as always, follow me on the Instas. Gummy Rice out!
That was the longest intro from a Game Theorist video I've ever seen, and I can almost bet anything there's gonna be drama over this. Wow.
Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory, the show that's honestly just depressed that this guy is hitting 10 million subscribers before us. Anyway, one way he and a bunch of other
So that explains why he made that intro, kind of.
other YouTubers and streamers are surging up the charts these days is by playing Fortnite. A game that's spread like wildfire across the internet. If you haven't heard of it, you must be living under a rock. And honestly, you're probably under that rock hoping for some alone time to play more Fortnite. Just when everyone thought PUBG was untouchable, Fortnite surged to overtake its player count and just doubled PUBG's viewership on Twitch. The game is addictive. Wait, maybe I should watch what I say. Good morning America might take that quote out of context for more scare tactics against video games.
This is a new game called Fortnite, and some parents are worrying their kids are spending way too much
What the frig's going on up there?
time at the controls.
Hey, stop! Why?
Real quick, while I am on the topic of that Good Morning America story, I'm currently working on a meta theory about gamers, battle royale games, and how personalities are linked to the games that we choose to play. But I need your guys' help. After this episode, there's actually a link to a secure online survey that I created that I would love to have you fill out.
How secure is it, Matt? Is it like the secure level of Facebook surveys?
Today, I want to talk about something that Fortnite is lacking. Story. Oh sure, there's the Save the World mode, but let's face it requires players to work together and it costs $40 to play. No duh, it's a mode that no one cares about. And even if you did care about it, which, you know, I have to as a part of this show, the story just amounts to, oh look, here's a purple storm that appeared one day and it summoned zombies, don't die. That is literally the extent of what Epic Games came up with in the 6 years that Fortnite has been in development.
2011 is when they started development for it. 6 years? So was PUBG even around back then? Because I think PUBG was mad at Fortnite for, you know, stealing their thunder. But if, you know, Fortnite was already in development way before PUBG, then they can't really be mad.
Or at least that's all they've revealed to players so far. But I think there's a bit more story lurking under the surface here. I think that the developers have already started hiding clues as to where they'd like to go with the story of this game by the time of its full release. Or at least they had those intentions, but will probably struggle to pull themselves away.
Fortnite made $126 million in February. What? And the game's free too, so that's $126 million of people just buying, like, you know, cool looking clothing and stuff, skins.
Away from the gobs of money they're making on Battle Royale mode to fully flesh those sorts of things out. So for me, and the literal one person on the Fortnite forums who simply posted lore, I wanted to step in and fill in some of the gaps. What is the story of Fortnite beyond purple cloud equals zombies?
The only thing we need now is even the slightest understanding of what's going on.
Today, I'm gonna give you exactly that. Our first clue as to the real lore of this game comes from the opening cutscene in Save the World mode. After your character runs to the Vindertech home base, you meet Ray, the robotic assistant who's your guide throughout the rest of the piece.
See, I didn't even know there was, like, any kind of story behind it, because, you know, when I play Fortnite, it's only on the Battle Royale mode. Oh my goodness, the Battle Royale mode. That's the only mode I've played. So I didn't even know that this other stuff existed.
PvE mode. But what's interesting here isn't what's said, but rather what's shown. If you look closely at Ray's clipboard as she talks about plans to overcome the storm, you'll notice some drawings, specifically a drawing of a rocket and 2 planets orbiting what appears to be the sun. And if you're wondering what's the deal with that circle and the 2 dotted circles on either side of it, if I were to guess, that's the developers trying to show the movement of that orbiting planet, and to show that the characters were trying to launch the rocket to land on that planet as it's moving through its orbit. And we know that this is the sun in the middle for 2 reasons. First, just notice that classic sun starburst around that center circle, meaning that this is definitely a star. But secondly, notice this small arrow between the inner and outer rings pointing counterclockwise. This is an important detail because all 8 planets in the solar system orbit the sun in the direction that the sun is rotating. The sun rotates in a counterclockwise direction, exactly like the diagram is showing here. Now, what's interesting about this when it comes to Fortnite's story is that there are only 2 planets shown on this diagram, presumably representing Mercury and Venus, the 2 closest planets to the sun. And it looks like the rocket is traveling from the first ring looking to land on the planet in the second ring. That little bit right there off the second ring looks more like a label than a flight trajectory. Also, if the rocket was launching from Earth, why wouldn't there be a 3rd ring in this diagram?
What, so you're saying that... I don't know what you're saying! I don't know what you're saying. What are you talking about, Matt? Something about leaving the planet to go to a different one? That's what I'm getting.
In other words, what I'm saying here is that these diagrams hint at the possibility that Fortnite might not be taking place on Earth, like many have assumed, but rather on another planet. Or, more specifically, the second planet from the sun, Venus. Now, that at first might seem ridiculous, but the more you look at it, the more the facts just line up. First, the game never explicitly says what planet we're on. I dug through everything, and I do mean everything in the game and its promotional materials, and all of it uses the word world, not Earth. Save the World mode. You are the world's best heroes. Even this quote that appeared early in the game's promotional cycle, reclaiming this mysterious world won't be easy.
Now that, okay, that right there has more believability behind it, I guess. Because, you know, reclaiming this mysterious world, like, you normally don't say that about Earth, right? So it kind of does sound as if Matt has a point here.
well, Earth isn't a mysterious world. You would just say
Exactly.
reclaiming Earth if that's what the goal of the game was. So in addition to Ray's cutscene diagram, it seems like Epic Games have definitely been leaving open the possibility of the events of Fortnite taking place on a different planet. Even the shots we see of this world from outer space look nothing like Earth. At the end of the first mission in Save the World mode, you launch a satellite into space, which spits back this shot of the Fortnite planet. Now, I don't know about you, but this doesn't look like any landmass I've ever seen on a globe or map, but it does look like this landmass on Venus, especially if you're using maps of terraformed Venus. Basically how...
You've got a really good point there. Frig. You got a really good point there too, Matt. I think Matt has, has a point here. But I guess, the main reason why a lot of people don't think there's any lore or story behind it is because all they know Fortnite for is the Battle Royale mode.
Venus would look if it had the same amount of water as Earth. Even size-wise, that continent we see on Fortnite's planet and this landmass I just pointed out on the surface of Venus roughly match up in how much...
And they look at that, they're like exactly identical. They are identical basically, right? Like look at the top of it. That little weird, this part right here, look at this right here. And this part right here, that's like identical. That is identical, right? And over here too. Over here on both of them. That is so close to being identical. So yeah, I think Matt's right here.
To the planet's surface they actually take up. Trust me, I did the math. Speaking of math and sizes of land masses in this game, this is kind of a side note, but I had nowhere else to put this in the script and I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. Currently, there is no defined size of the island in Fortnite. Many fans think that each large box on the in-game map is equal to 1 square kilometer because that's how PUBG measures. However, that simply isn't the case. I did a bunch of measurements back when the map was divided into a 7x7 grid, and it took 1 minute and 15 seconds to run across each grid square on the map at top speed.
So let me guess, you took how far someone can run in a minute, and then you broke it down to find out how far they ran for this little space, and then you multiplied it by the length of the island or whatever.
If it were truly 1 kilometer each, then the players would be running at 13 meters per second or 29 miles per hour. That's faster than Usain Bolt sprinting at top speed. So for fun, I went and calculated out the actual size of the island. Now, east of Greasy Grove, there's a crashed battle bus. That battle bus closely resembles a Vision school bus design created by the manufacturer Bluebird. Now, assuming that they have similar specifications, the bus should measure at about 40 feet or 12 meters long. Using pixel measurements with the battle bus as our ruler, we're able to determine that each grid on the map would be a much more manageable 330 meters long, 1,082 feet. With a size like that, it means that each player is running at a max speed of 4.4 meters per second or 10 miles per hour. Since the map at the time was 7 boxes wide, and since the island itself hasn't changed size, only the grids on the map have gotten smaller, we can determine that the entire map is defined to be 2,310 meters by 2,310 meters, or just under a 7,580 foot square. So even if you loyal Fortniters don't buy anything about today's theory, you can at least walk away with some new knowledge about the scale of the game that you're playing. Anyway, back to Venus. Watching players jumping in the game, it's immediately clear that the gravity in Fortnite is actually less than it is on Earth. Because Venus is slightly smaller than Earth, it too has a lower gravity, making it a closer match to the jumping behavior that we see in the game. But perhaps the biggest connection to Venus as the setting of Fortnite is the main feature of the game, the storm. A purple thunderstorm that can kill humans in seconds. First, let's talk about the storm.
But it's a freaking battle royale game, right? Every battle royale game has a storm or some kind of, wall that shrinks to force the players to go to one area. It's a battle royale game, so I don't believe this. So I think this is really stretching it. I think this is really stretching or grasping to get your point across.
Rain. Now, clearly this isn't your average rainstorm. It's enough to rapidly eat away at your health, killing heroes and battle royale hopes and dreams in mere seconds. This means that this isn't your normal rain. It has to be something much more deadly, something that can kill you on contact. But what can possibly rain down from the sky and eat away at your body? Well, Venus once again has the answer: acid rain. For those of you who dozed off during 8th grade science science class, the pH scale measures the ratio between hydrogen ions and hydroxide molecules in a liquid. The scale ranges from 0, acids that have a high presence of hydrogen ions, to 14, bases, which possess a high presence of hydroxide molecules. A pH of 7 is neutral. Now, on Earth, we absolutely have acid rain, but barely does it get below a pH of 4. That's basically the acidity of tomato juice or a soda. It's just too diluted to cause any major damage. You can stand out in it and you're gonna be just fine. But on Venus, acid rain is taken to a whole new level, where literally it rains.
I think Matt's right in assuming that it is on Venus because of the island shape. It's almost identical. So it has to be. It has to be. But I think, you know, the whole storm part is grasping at straws here, right? Because, I mean, it's a battle royale game. And why would the storm be shrinking in, right? Eventually everyone would die from it. So that doesn't make sense.
Rains battery acid from the sky, or more specifically, sulfuric acid, stuffed with a pH of 1. As soon as sulfuric acid would touch your hero's skin, it would start to corrode, burning and blistering the skin. Getting drenched in the stuff, like you see in Fortnite, would absolutely cause death in seconds. And believe it or not, but the in-game evidence absolutely lines up. Not only is it deadly to players, but notice those electric sparks around the characters as they run to escape from the storm? Well, that would even more clearly point towards acid rain, as the high number of charged ions floating around in the sulfuric acid actually make for an excellent electrical conductor. It's very good for our evidence, it's very bad for the survivors, slowly getting eaten alive by husks and death rain. And if you want even more evidence for acid rain in the game, notice the peeling paint of buildings, the rusting on metal structures, and even the lack of fish in Loot Lake. All three of these are classic signs of acid raining down from the sky. Even the trees in the game support this conclusion. Acid rain absolutely kills trees, but not in the way that you might think. Contrary to popular belief, acid rain doesn't make trees rot, but instead kills them through a process known as phototoxicity. It basically makes the plants more sensitive to light. The main symptoms of this sort of light sensitivity are saturated hues on the
I don't know.
trees and a uniform color found throughout the leaves rather than a more natural gradient. The trees in Fortnite exhibit both saturated hues and uniform color in the leaves, a sign of
Okay, now that is freaking grasping. You're basing the argument on that the trees are the same color? I mean, Matt, you know that for designing these, like, trees and stuff, they design a tree and then you just copy and paste it around a map, right? So they would be uniform because the developers are copying and pasting it. I don't think they're thinking of, oh, the acid rain makes them look the same color. Come on now, Matt. I think this is really grasping. However, I do think, you know, they are probably living on Venus or whatever. I mean, how could they survive, right? Because the air isn't, like, oxygen. So that doesn't make any sense. But the shape of the planet, like the land mass on the planet, it does look like Venus, so I'll give you that. But, I mean, how are they surviving? Like, what are they breathing to survive? That's one question I have, as well as the fact that I think you're really grasping just because of the tree color.
either acid rain-induced phototoxicity or a game with a simple cartoony aesthetic. I'll let you be the judge. Oh, do you, Prince? You want to see me bathing in the purple rain, huh? So I can be corroded to death and you can take the Battle Royale victory for yourself? I don't think so. Even the...
Are you kidding me? I just spilled water everywhere. Are you kidding me?
weather patterns that we see on the planet and the overall spread of the storm across the planet's surface put it on Venus. Now, this is going really deep, but hopefully you guys appreciate this. You notice how in this opening shot we see the reflection of the sun here on the surface of the planet? Well, that helps us establish that the planet is rotating horizontally. Now, look at how the storm spreads across the planet, also horizontally, straight across the surface. This is actually abnormal based on atmospheric circulation patterns. On Earth, the atmosphere actually circulates upwards towards the colder poles. It's actually a pretty complicated system, in part because the Earth rotates so quickly. But on Venus, where the planet rotates so slowly, the weather rushes horizontally across the planet constantly, as cold air from the dark side of the planet rushes in to replace the warm air from the sunlit half. And that is exactly what we see in Fortnite, a horizontal sweep across the planet, just like Venus's weather, spreading in a way that is very different from how a similar storm on Earth would behave. Now, I know what you're gonna say, it's just a game and they didn't think about any of this. They made some purple clouds and added zombies. And yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right.
That's what I friggin' thought. But, I mean, I think you are right. The land is shaped like Venus, so I think you have a point there, but I don't think it... I don't know. I don't freaking know. Maybe one of the animators or the graphic artists or whatever is just like, you know what, Venus has a cool land, let's just take it. Because there's so many questions, like, what are they breathing, right? Because they're on Venus or whatever, and I'm pretty sure Venus doesn't have breathable air, right? So, what are they breathing? And they're not wearing stuff over their face.
Well, except for that diagram at the beginning and the repeated use of the word world. I think those indicate that they had other plans for the series that don't involve Earth. Anyway, what I'm offering with this episode is an
Yeah, they probably had plans, but they just kind of threw it away. Once Fortnite got so big, and, you know, everyone's playing it, they probably just threw it away. They're like, ah, who cares? Who cares?
Explanation, an out for Epic Games, if you will, giving them an answer that they didn't get around to in the 6 years of developing Fortnite. Putting the events of Fortnite on Venus fits not only the slim bits of lore that currently exist in the game, but also works from a scientific angle. Well, everything but the purple clouds. Try as I might, I couldn't get that to make sense anywhere. On a separate but related research note, the gas argon is used in neon signs because it glows purple when a current is run through it, but no planet actually has enough argon in its atmosphere to recreate what we see in Fortnite. And even though scientists were surprised at the amount of argon that actually exists in Venus's atmosphere, it actually wasn't enough to make a viable case and try to shoehorn it into the episode. Trust me,
Aww.
I tried, but I honestly didn't want to stretch the facts that thin.
Because you haven't been doing that so far. I think you were stretching when you started talking about how the trees were like the same color. And I mean, come on, man. In the game engine, you just designed the tree in whatever modeling software, then you just copy and paste it over the game. They're not gonna come up with a different color for every freaking tree. Come on now, Matt.
Well, on the topic of stretching the facts, for those of you who are truly hardcore enough to question this episode by saying Venus doesn't have water, thus invalidating everything we've just covered in this episode.
Wow, so we could have started off with that. I mean, you also haven't gotten to, what are they breathing? Like, look, there's no masks on them, right? There's no masks. And I'm pretty sure Venus doesn't have a rich oxygen atmosphere without poisonous gases. So, like, what are they breathing?
Well, you're only partially right. Venus doesn't have water now. Despite being our sister planet in both size and distance to the sun, it is a nightmarish hellscape. You ever wonder why we're sending probes to Pluto and not spending more time exploring Venus? It's because scientists are no joke afraid of Venus. It literally destroys any probes that we send onto the planet within an hour of them landing.
What? Wow, that's corrosive.
And for good reason. At 484 degrees Celsius or 903 degrees Fahrenheit, the surface of Venus is hot enough to melt lead. It is hotter than even Mercury, which is half the distance to the sun, literally in the sun's armpit. The atmospheric pressure on Venus equals about 90 Earth atmospheres. That means standing on the surface of Venus would feel like you'd gone 1 kilometer underwater, or over half.
Wait, so right here, you're just kind of like debunking everything. Saying that, oh yeah, it's probably not there. It's probably not there.
A mile underwater here on Earth. You know how awful it is to be a few feet underwater? This is half a mile underwater. That is how intense the pressure would be on your body. It'd be like taking a car, compressing it down to a square inch, and then covering every bit of your body in those super dense car cubes. And it's all because of Venus's global warming. 97% of Venus's atmosphere is made of carbon dioxide, which means the surface...
Alright, here we go. 97% is carbon dioxide. Is there any oxygen in
So
it?
the planet gets superheated and never cools off. But here's where it all works in the context of Fortnite. It wasn't always that way. In 2006, scientists came to the conclusion that Venus had a period when it was filled with water. Quote, everything points to there being large amounts of water here in the past. That's a quote from Colin Wilson, a professor of oceanic, atmospheric, and planetary physics at Oxford University and a member of the team that made this discovery. Venus used to be just like Earth. And that is the story that Epic Games can tell through Fortnite. One of a young terraformed Venus, and Earth 1.0 being destroyed by a rampant storm. A planet that humans need to rocket off of and escape from, either to Earth or to Mercury. It's a story that works from Easter eggs already in the game. From the diagram to the wording.
Okay, I think I get it.
the promotional materials to the design of the planet viewed from outer space. It's also a story that works with real-life science, from the history of Venus to its acid rain to the weather patterns present on the planet. Overall, setting the events of Fortnite on the planet Venus is a story that would work and a story that'd be pretty darn unique. And at the very least, it'd be a whole lot.
Wait a minute, we haven't even mentioned the zombie thing. We haven't even talked about the zombies, Matt. Explain that!
Lot better than the big heaping helping of nothing that we're all currently working with. But hey, that's just a theory.
A really stretched theory. But, I mean, I think he is right. I think there definitely was a crazy plot, like, when they were originally developing Fortnite. But now, you know, Fortnite's so successful, I don't think they're gonna continue on with it. I really don't. But hey, that's just my opinion. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know, if this ruined Fortnite for you. I mean, it didn't. It really didn't. I think MatPat stretched his thesis or argument a little bit in this, but then again, whatever. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend if you do, and subscribe to the family. Also, make sure to go subscribe to the Game Theorist. Oh, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop!